Well, it's been 20 years since I last watched a film about being under Paris, and I gotta say Netflix's latest horror shark movie is almost as ridiculous.
That's hot.
Yes, Under Paris joins a prestigious list of horror-themed aquatic films like Deep Blue Sea,
First, we're gonna seal off this.
Piranha 3D,
Bring me my legs.
and Aqua Slash. So I thought it would be fun to take a look at this absolutely bonkers movie and give you a taste of what the French have to offer. Now, I did title this video Ending Explained, but I'm not kidding when I tell you there is no ending. Seriously, this movie does not have a conclusion. It's like if the shark attacked everyone in Jaws and then the movie ended. But more on that when we get to it. Lastly, please make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment about what you thought of Under Paris. I also have a whole playlist of some of the worst movies of all time that I encourage you to check out. Now let's get into it. Under Paris follows Sophia Salas, a marine biologist in charge of tracking sharks. We never actually find out why she's tracking them or why she allows her teammates to risk their lives in the dangerous Great Pacific Garbage Patch. There is one particular shark they're interested in, Lilith, who 3 months ago was only 2.5 meters long, but they picked up her signal here and to their surprise, she's tripled in size.
You love those big bitches.
So obviously these scientists do the only logical thing and stab her to get a sample. Like, I honestly don't know what you thought would happen when you stab a literal shark. So Lilith goes apeshit and starts massacring the entire science team, and they're mauled to death in a matter of seconds. Now you'd think Sophia would call for help or rush with the boat to scare off the shark, but no, she decides to jump in the water. What she thought she was gonna do armed with only a spear, I don't know. Anyway, she survives and we fast forward 3 years and Sophia has found herself as a tour guide at a shitty Paris museum.
The internet says your whole team was eaten by sharks. Is that true?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
She's approached by Mika, a young animal rights activist who works for an ocean defense organization called Saviors of the Sea, or SOS. These guys have a cool pimped out flat as if a bunch of Greta Thunbergs took over Morpheus's building from the Matrix. Turns out they picked up Lilith's signal and she's made her way millions of miles to the completely toxic waters of the Seine. Fun fact, there's been a 102-year ban on swimming in this river due to its high levels of pollution and sewage. The movie never bothers to tell us why, of all places, Lilith chooses the Seine, basically stating,
"She got here by mistake, and now she's just trying to survive."
Apparently, climate change and pollution have messed up our sharks so much that they lead all the way to our main character. Very convenient. They want Sophia's help in saving Lilith and getting her back to the ocean, since mako sharks can't live in fresh water. What they don't know is that Lilith has evolved, and as we'll find out later, this evolution will have disastrous consequences if you happen to like swimming in toxic water. Mika and her friend Ben intend on checking out the disappearance of a man whose car fell into the river, but whose body was never found. Sophia doesn't want to come with them, perhaps because this shark dredges up bad memories of her former colleagues, the ones she couldn't save. She even watches old home movies of them, my favorite of which is them celebrating New Year's, but it's complete daylight. Mika and Ben investigate the wreckage to find these giant teeth marks, but are promptly arrested before anything else can be found. Now, these river police dudes actually become a big part of the movie, and I think the writers try to endear us to them by showing them giving horny homeless people clothes and supplies.
How's the lady? Looking beautiful.
They're actually wanting the homeless to move off the banks of the Seine in preparation for this big triathlon. You see, the mayor has invested millions of dollars cleaning up the Seine for this event, and by God, if a giant man-eating shark is gonna get in the way. I love this character, she's my favorite in the movie by far. She's basically a cut-and-paste version of the mayor from Jaws, but more insane.
I'm pleased and happy to repeat the news that we have in fact caught and killed a large predator.
Assure you, every precaution has been taken to guarantee this event's security. Thanks.
Sophia tells handsome river policeman Adil that there's a shark in the Seine, but no one believes her, even after the dead body of one of the homeless men is found bitten to pieces. But erring on the side of caution, Chief Angel orders her team along with Sophia to investigate if the rumors are true. Luckily, Sophia still has access to the GPS locked on Lilith. However, when they get close to finding her, that no-good Mika hacks the signal somehow, thinking they'll kill the shark.
We at the Save Our Seas Collective believe that an animal's life is worth as much as a human's.
Now at this point, Sophia and the police know there is a shark in the Seine, so they go to the mayor to shut down this triathlon. And let me tell you, she could not give a She basically thinks they're insane and the event will go on.
This event will be perfect, yes, and fun.
Meanwhile, Mika's friend Ben betrays her by informing the police of their plan to bait and tranquilize Lilith in order to bring her back to the ocean. And of course, of all the places Lilith could have made her home, it's the underground catacombs. The saviors of the sea are shocked when not one fin appears, but multiple. Lilith has turned the underground catacombs into her own spawning nest.
We've invaded her nest! Wake the hell up. They won't hurt anyone.
A few moments later.
The plan to save Lilith turns to complete chaos as members of SOS somehow fall into the pool, which is now teeming with hungry sharks. It's an absolute massacre as we see a parade of bodies brought into the nearby hospital. Surely the mayor will do something.
12 dead. This puts a real damper on my celebrations.
Even with the knowledge there are now multiple flesh-eating sharks in the Seine, she goes one step further and tries to cover it up.
Mr. Prefect, hush this up immediately. Nothing can get out.
What's even crazier is that Sophia and Adil perform an autopsy on one of these sharks, and I'm like, why don't you guys go to the media and warn the people? Anyway, they find out that Lilith and her spawn have evolved not only to survive in freshwater, but also procreate using parthenogenesis, the ability to reproduce without a male. This is extra concerning because if these sharks go out beyond the Seine, they could take over the entire ocean. So Sophia and the river police take matters into their own hands. They're gonna blow up Lilith's nest along with her babies. They somehow get access to high-end explosives and return to the nest to find hundreds of her offspring. Meanwhile, the mayor starts the triathlon. What could go wrong? Unfortunately, things in the crypt aren't going to plan as the sharks start to pick off members of the river police one by one, but just in the nick of time, Sophia is able to set off the explosives and save Adil. This sets off a giant explosion topside, and yet no one is like, hey, there could have been a terrorist attack here? Should we continue with this triathlon? It just keeps going on as planned. With the entrance to the nest blocked off, it looks like the plan worked. However, a now scarred Lilith slams her way through the debris, unleashing hundreds of sharks on the unsuspecting athletes. It's an all-out massacre. I love how there are these good Samaritans on the side trying to help people out of the water, but they just end up getting pushed in too. But the absolute most over-the-top aspect of this whole thing is the tsunami. Yes, you heard me right, a tsunami. So when these sharks start attacking, the military just goes apeshit and starts shooting, not knowing that there are dozens of ancient World War II artillery shells just waiting to go off. Like, don't you think these would have been discovered when the river was being cleaned? Are you really going to have people swimming underneath shells that could go off at any point? When one of these blows, it creates a domino effect, resulting in a giant tsunami that completely destroys Paris and our beloved mayor. Sophia wakes up after being knocked unconscious to find Paris completely flooded. We get these cool shots of sharks having overtaken the subway. Now I thought, great, here's the third act of the movie where Sophia has to use her wits and knowledge as a shark expert to take on Lilith one-on-one and avenge all the people she's taken away from her. But no, the film just ends. We don't find out what happens to these two, we don't know if Lilith survived, there's no catharsis. We just watch as Paris is literally underwater, which I guess is not so bad. In the end credits, you'll see these red lines across waterways in cities on various maps, suggesting this new species of shark made their way across the globe and have now overtaken the oceans. So in summary, if there's a moral to this story, it's definitely never sign up for a triathlon. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment on what you thought of the movie below. For more bad takes, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember,
12 dead. This puts a real damper on my celebrations.